There's a very dangerous situation that I myself was involved in not long ago on the road, where if you are in a vehicle driving on a multiple lane road, and that vehicle becomes disabled, all of a sudden stops and cannot move, and you are in a travel lane where cars go by or travel on, and you are basically in the way of traffic, you find yourself in a very, very dangerous situation where vehicles may strike your vehicle from behind, maybe at high speed, especially if you are on a main road, highway, boulevard, avenue, a larger road such as an expressway, etc. So there are many reasons why this may happen. You may be in the middle lane, fast lane. You may be on a road where there's no shoulder, no way to stop away from the traffic, from the moving vehicles, or the lanes where moving vehicles are. So if you are on a highway, especially on the fast lanes towards the left here in America, there may not be a shoulder or space on that left side for you to go into if your vehicle becomes disabled and unable to move. So that is a very dangerous situation where a vehicle or many vehicles may even strike you and cause a major accident. These accidents are very lethal, very dangerous, and could again involve several vehicles. So the thing to do in such case, I will explain here shortly. But before that, I wanted to have you take a few precautions. So if and when such incident or occurrence happens, you are prepared, because there are a few things that you need to have to safely, or as safe as possible, really get out of the situation and prevent an accident or a pileup from happening. So the first thing that you need to do is stay away from the fast lanes if at all possible, especially if you have an older vehicle. If you have a vehicle in very low state of repair, perhaps a vehicle with old tires, or with an engine that heats up, or with any kind of malfunction that you know of, that you are aware of, stay away from the fast lanes and middle lanes if at all possible. Especially if you are expecting the vehicle to break down. Many people are in that situation where they have faulty and vehicles in low repair, but they still have to move around, use it, go to work, go to places, pick up groceries, whatever. So that's what you need to do. You need to watch your surroundings, watch the road where you're at. If it's a road that has no shoulder at all, stay on the slower lanes. If it's a road that is quite dangerous, without any kind of space on the shoulders, then stay away from the fast lanes. If you are to break down, of course, it's better to break down and stop in a slower lane than the fast lane. So again, be aware of your surroundings, especially if you have a car or vehicle that fits this description I just gave you. The other thing to do is to attempt to have signaling devices such as flares, road flares, emergency flares they call them, which are the usually red sticks that you can light up, and they will give off a very bright light, sometimes also smoke, to warn and signal other drivers and vehicles of your presence. You can also have flashers or flashing lights or devices that flash, that are electronic. They use batteries. They have LED bright lights to warn incoming traffic. You can have those as well. You can have a combination of both. I would highly recommend having flares because they are, I believe, a lot brighter than many of the LED-based flashers out there. There may be some LED flashers that are very bright, but for the most part, as far as I found, they are not as bright as those flares. Also have a method to light up these flares, like a lighter, like matches or cigarette lighter. And this is in case the lighting mechanism that's in these flares fails, or the flare is somehow wet or too old. You have a secondary method, a backup method to light that flare up. So that's another thing. So basically, before I go through the steps of what you should do, the main idea, the concept of safely notifying or signaling of your presence, of your situation to other drivers, is to prevent them from striking you, is to basically have them see you from as far as possible, from as far back as possible. Thus the need for very bright flares or signaling devices. And of course, seconds, even split seconds, matter when this situation occurs, as it did to me. Very few times will drivers see you in time before striking you, especially when conditions are less than ideal, such as during rain, during snow, during fog, during any kind of storm or anything like that. The situation just goes downhill from there. It gets worse. So seconds matter. So you have to be able to act quick, act calmly, and act methodically, and following the steps that I'm about to give you. With that, here are the steps. Before I go into the steps, I want to say just one more thing. The reason why it is so likely that you will get hit if you are in a fast traveling lane, stopped in the middle of the road, is because vehicles, when they see you, they may wait until last minute to swerve around you. And if there is a close following vehicle from the vehicle that swerved around you, if another vehicle is following behind that vehicle that waited until the last minute to swerve around you, that vehicle is not going to have time to swerve around you once that other vehicle gets out of the way, because that other vehicle may have been blocking its view, especially if the first vehicle that swerved around you is a truck, which, cars cannot, or drivers cannot see through very easily, or it's a very large vehicle, or it's a vehicle with dark tints, dark windows, especially those limo tints. That's why in many places they are illegal. So with that, I will give you the steps. Step 1, keep calm, keep in your seats, and keep your seatbelt on. This is first and foremost. Even if your vehicle stopped in the middle of the road, you don't want to take your seatbelt off and get off your seat, because you may get hit any second from behind. You want to have your seatbelt on, and you have to stay in your seat, because if you get hit, you at least have your vehicle to protect you. You have airbags to protect you, and you will depend on those to survive. So stay in your seat, keep your seatbelt on. Step 1. 2, forget your phone. The first thing you need to do is notify and signal your presence to other vehicles. So get your flares, your signaling devices on, turn them on, turn your flare on, The steps to turn a flare on will be shown after these steps are described. And you need to, as soon as you turn your flares or your signaling devices on, throw them behind your vehicle a few feet. Throw several of them. If you have several, for example, flares, throw several of them behind your vehicle, increasing distances. Perhaps you can throw one a few feet. You can throw one. Again, these things should be on before you throw them. So you could throw another one a little further back, and you could throw perhaps a third one even further back. So you can have several flares behind your vehicle that are on and signaling other vehicles to move out of the way. The farther you throw them probably is the best, directly behind your vehicle, because those are the ones that are going to prevent vehicles from getting too close to you and perhaps striking you, or making vehicles behind them strike you, which is very likely. If you have signaling devices instead of flares, put them on top of your vehicles while you are still sitting in your vehicle. Once you have one or two on top of your vehicle flashing, go ahead and throw, if you have a third one, throw it behind your vehicle as far back as you can while you're sitting. Perhaps they will stay on when they strike the ground, and that one will prevent vehicles from beginning to close. If you could throw more than one behind your vehicle, even better so if they stay on, but make sure you have at least one or two stuck on top of your vehicles. Many of them are magnetic. Many of them
Next step is to call 911 and
ready
report
for
your
placement on
situation and
vehicle.
location. Let them know that you are in danger and that you are blocking the travel lanes of the road. Lastly, make sure you remain inside your vehicle with your seatbelt on. Stay there until help arrives and the road lane has been completely blocked by emergency response vehicles. So, to summarize the steps: keep calm and keep seatbelt on. Turn on hazard lights immediately. Light emergency flares and toss at least one to the rear of your vehicle. Or, turn on strobe lights and place on top of your vehicle and throw at least one to the rear of your vehicle. Call 911 and report your situation and location. Remain in vehicle with seatbelt on until help arrives. Next, we'll show you how to light up a road emergency flare.
But here's how you do it. We have a cap. Pop off our cap. Okay. This is basically our striking pad. It's going to be a rough surface, sandpaper-like. Okay. The top part here, grasp firmly and twist off. You know, I'm twisting and pulling at the same time. There you go. Little pop noise. So there's our cap. There's our exposed tip and our striking pad. Okay, so basically, just like a match, we're going to strike this off of here, and it's going to be lit. All right? Seems straightforward, but we're going to see if this is as easy as it sounds. So here we go. Now I'm going to angle this a little bit. I don't want to strike this and have this facing my hand, particularly because my hands are bare. Probably want to use gloves, but I'm going to try to do this on an angle. There we go. Actually fairly simple to do. It should burn for quite a while. This is a longer one. This is about an 18-inch road flare. Have it just like so. And obviously you'd set this up, you know, at least 30, 40 feet from your car. Let me see if I could put it out. All right. But
This is all. Thank you for watching and listening. And make sure you share this information with others. Thank you.